Oh, Dave, I think we all breathed a collective sigh of relief when that goal went in. You've had to be really patient against the 10 men, but that's a massive 3 points for your side.
Yeah, it's a big 3 points. Like I say, tough place to come against a good team. And especially the manner of the game, and I suppose missing a penalty, and it'll always bring back maybe memories of previous games, Wimbledon being one similar, that to go and stick at it and work hard and get the 3 points at the end is a big result. So then to go inside and see how other results have gone becomes a good day for us.
It was such an explosive start to the game. 44 seconds, you get a penalty, they go down to 10 men, Paddy then misses it. What's going through your mind through all of that?
Regardless, you'll never get a better opportunity to win a game of football playing against a team for 90, close to 100 minutes with 10 men and a penalty. Obviously when you miss that penalty there's a little bit of a momentum shift in terms of the stadium, because if we score that, they've already had a sort of half a pin in a balloon in the fact that they've gone down to 10. To then be a goal down potentially makes it difficult for them. They get a little bit of a boost and I suppose can reorganise in terms of what they're going to do with 10. I think again in terms of the teams you play against, what they do is they handle the ball really well, so they will at times keep the ball off you and try and use up time in that way, and they do, like I say, they do that really well. I just felt that we needed to be a little bit more urgent in and out of possession. We wanted to come here and press regardless 10 or 11. Obviously it would have been more testing against 11, but going beyond on the front foot, we get our chance from pressing and picking the ball up in a good area from their kick-off. So we wanted to do that. I just felt we could be a little bit braver in terms of how we did that in the first half, and going back ourselves and want to hurt ourselves in terms of physically. And if we came in there without a bead of energy left in terms of what we've done, then that's a big ask for them with nine outfield players to be able to match that and do that. And I think you saw signs towards the back end that the amount of opportunities or the amount of shots we had on goal sort of increased as the game progressed in that last sort of 15-20 minutes, and thankfully at that point we got the goal.
The red card obviously completely changes the way they're going to approach the game. How much does it affect the way you approach the game? Because presumably all of a sudden it's a completely different game to what you've been preparing for all week.
Not a different game, a different shape. Like I say, we were set on coming here and pressing, so that didn't change. Like I say, it's more of a challenge with 11 than it is against 11 than it is against 10, but we were still going to have that mindset, so it didn't really change that. It potentially changes the pitches that you had, so we'd spoken, especially if we were playing wind behind us, to play a little bit more direct, to play the game in their defensive half of the pitch, to play the ball into woods and look to get second balls, because we knew that they'd play out and we could have potentially pressed. So we wanted the game played in this half of the pitch. That probably becomes a little bit more difficult because they tend to get a little bit deeper, whereas if we'd have been looking to play, there would have been those spaces in behind woods that's where we wanted to try and exploit. Our space then became for our wide centre backs. They changed to a 5-3-1, so that again should really suit us, with Hussey and Aki being able to step in. If a midfielder comes across, we then got an overload in the middle of the pitch. We didn't exploit as much as what I'd like. Half time we have a chat, but I suppose felt that if I'd have been in Jodie's position, I would have made a change that they did and go with, I suppose, a little bit more pace at the top end of the pitch and not leave Charlie Austin isolated, which against 10 he was always going to be, which made it different pitches. It was then our two midfielders, whether it be Campsey or Crosby, sort of rolling out into wide areas and trying to pin them back, and it becomes a little bit of cat and mouse. Like I said, the game then became stretched a little bit. If you score earlier, the game becomes stretched more earlier because they've got to go and change what they do. That wasn't the case. And again, it proves that if you are organised and get behind the ball, it's going to be difficult to play against. Our goal comes from them sending bodies forward from a free kick and us counter-attacking and having the desire to get and capture the play up and a brilliant finish, which I say takes us on really happy with 3 points.
Yeah, there is that irony that for all the possession and territory you had, the goals come from a counter-attack, a quick transition, and pretty great time for Ryan Crowsdale to get his first of the season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had a target in terms of different goal scorers that we have this season being around 15, and I think Crosby is on the board of not having one, so that's another one crossed off and close to the target of where we want to be. But just watched it there. Again, the desire to break forward is obviously Ryan's in down the side. He catches up the play and has the composure to finish really, really well. And like I say, a welcome 3 points.
Is it maybe more of an onus for him to be getting forward in those advanced positions in the absence of Will Collins?
Not really. Again, that's dependent on whether the opportunity arises. I think what we set up to do initially would be that we'd have wing backs high up the pitch, maybe outside centre backs high up the pitch, and looking at having at least 4 in the box with 2 centre forwards, Challinor and the opposite wing back, and Crosby and I suppose Campsey picking up and picking up pieces and helping us to, I suppose, maintain attacks rather than go and finish off attacks. And you'd hope that when the ball was coming out that they might get shots from the edge of the box and those types of things. But if the opportunity arises to run forward, as I've said previously, and I said to them at half time, we have to make it that type of game. If you're looking at half time in terms of the type of game you want it to be a running game. Because with a man advantage you should, over the course of 45-50 minutes, be better towards the back end of the game. He's epitomised that in terms of the recognition that we've got to counter attack and go and believe that the players behind have to organise. I'm now front of the queue, if you like, and I'm going to go get myself in the box, and he's done that and got his rewards.
You've had your fair share of injuries so far this season, and today was almost the perfect storm, really, in the middle of the park. No collar, no SARS, miles away on international duty, which meant a recall for Connor Evans from Notts County. How do you think he did today?
Yeah, first off, it was like I say, very, very last minute. And again, I spoke to Luke at Notts, apologising really, in the fact that we had to bring Connor back. It was a situation that we couldn't affect, obviously, with Sauce dropping out on Thursday, Will already being out and Miles being away. It was a situation that we had to, I suppose, look after our own priorities, and to be fair, Luke was brilliant and really understanding of the situation, so thank him for that. From our side of things, I've said to Connor, this was an opportunity for him today. Potentially he gets another opportunity on Friday. He needs to play football. I think he's one that is a victim of our squad, if you like, and the fact that we have a really strong squad, deep squad, and maybe his character and his personality being a little bit quiet, a little bit shy, hasn't been able to show what he can do on a football pitch. But I've got real belief in him, like I say, in terms of somebody who I've watched and potentially been unable to sign before coming to here, if you like. He's a player that's, if he's comfortable and if we're in a position where we can play him continually, he'll get better and better and better. Unfortunately, we're in a situation at a club that, because of the pressure that's behind you, if you don't quite perform and don't quite get those goals and those assists, then there's other people behind you putting you under pressure. But in terms of coming back, he fits in the group really, really well. He gets in those little pockets. I'd love him to sort of get a goal. I think that will be a big lift off his shoulders in terms of that. But he'll get another opportunity, a welcome member back to the squad, and certainly with, like I say, with the injuries we've got to Sauce and Will, very timely.
Just on those two, what is the initial diagnosis? How long do you think they'll be out for?
Sauce, if this was the final game of the season, he would potentially have taken a chance in terms of him playing. His car tightened up on Thursday in training, early on during the warm up, so he didn't feel anything in terms of a pop or a tear or anything like that. Went for a scan. He's got a minor, and we could have risked him, and if it blew up, then that would probably been a season done. So it wasn't worth that risk. We then had to obviously call Connor back because we knew that was miles away and Will was out. Will, as we said, without going into too much detail, and again, being really honest, I don't want this to sound dead cryptic and me trying to hide things. He's got a freak injury, freak contact injury that I've never seen in football before, and we're very much in the hands of the medical experts in terms of how long he's out for. We hope it's not very long. He's obviously, it happened in the game last Saturday, so he's a week now. If he's 3 weeks, then I'd be delighted. But it is a case of thinking how, or looking at how things change. And if that's quicker, then brilliant. But if I was, like I said, if I was offered the fact that I'd guarantee that he was potentially back for the Easter weekend, I'd absolutely take it. If it's after that, then I don't envisage it'll be a lot long after that, and hopefully when he does come back, he hits the ground running as he has been, because he's an important player for us.
Neil Byrne, how is he?
Doesn't look great, groin. So again, we'll get him scanned, and like you say, you hope not too serious, but just in terms of how it potentially is being described, it might be one that's certainly not a really short one. But like I say, we hope that's not the case.
When you get back in the dressing room and look at the other results, obviously you'll have seen Carlisle lost, Stevenage lost, Mansfield dropped points as well, so what felt like it could have been a frustrating afternoon has turned into a pretty good day for you, really. Great
day for us. Like I say, aside from, again, if you've been really greedy, you want Northampton to drop points, and that would have been the perfect day. Not the case, and I'm not going to stand there and say I'm disappointed with other results not going in our favour. We've got to take care of our stuff in terms of where we need to be at, and hope that there are more occasions when results go in our favour. Like I say, we play on obviously next Friday. We've got to take care of our business. We're a tough game, so hopefully obviously on to Stevenage today and won there, so they'll come full of confidence and certainly enjoy playing on our pitch. It'll be a great atmosphere in terms of support that we'll have, and hopefully we won't put on a show.
You'll have the railway on that night as well, so Friday night, county night, it promises to be a great occasion.
Yeah, special when we have both ends behind each goal. And then I suppose the ones that are in the Cheadle end, if they do turn us around, won't be as disappointed as what they normally potentially are. But like, great atmosphere, like I say, really look forward to it. But an important game for us and a big opportunity.
Dave, thanks for your time. Well done today.
Cheers, thank you.